What if I told you that erectile dysfunction is not just about your ability to perform in the bedroom, but could actually be the very first red flag of something far more dangerous happening inside your body? Millions of men shrug it off. Some feel embarrassed. Others reach for a quick pill like Viagra, hoping it will buy them time. But behind closed doors, the truth weighs heavily. The frustration of not being able to respond when your partner needs you. The quiet shame of avoiding intimacy. The fear that you are somehow less of a man. It is exhausting. It is isolating. And it chips away at your confidence day after day. I have sat across from countless patients who whisper this fear to me only after the door is shut, their voice trembling, because it is not just a matter of pride, it is about feeling alive, wanted, and whole again. The science tells us something powerful. Erectile dysfunction is one of the earliest signs of vascular disease. In plain words, it means the blood vessels that carry life-giving circulation to your heart, your brain, and yes, to your penis, are beginning to fail. Inside every artery is a delicate lining called the endothelium. Its job is to release nitric oxide, the simple little gas molecule that relaxes your vessels and allows blood to surge where it needs to go. Without it, no pill, no desire, no spark will be enough. And here is the shocking part. By the time a man reaches his 60s, nitric oxide production has already dropped by more than half. That decline is why so many men suddenly find themselves struggling, even when their testosterone levels are perfectly normal. But here is the hope I want you to hold on to. You are not powerless, and you are not alone. There are natural ways to restore blood flow, rebuild nitric oxide, and reclaim both your vitality and your confidence. These solutions do not come from a pharmacy, and they do not carry the heavy baggage of side effects that can harm your heart or your vision. They come from everyday foods you can enjoy at your dinner table, lifestyle habits that awaken circulation, herbs and nutrients that have been studied for centuries, and simple minerals and vitamins that your body is crying out for. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes we are going to uncover exactly what those foods are, how your daily routines may be draining your strength without you realizing it, and which natural boosters can help you turn this around. You will see that the answer is not found in a blue pill, but in choices that heal your body from the inside out. This is where your comeback begins. When most men face erectile dysfunction, the first solution offered to them is a little blue pill. On the surface, Viagra looks like a miracle. You swallow it, wait, and suddenly the problem seems to vanish. But here is the truth that too many seniors discover only after months or years of relying on it. Viagra does not actually create blood flow. It does not restore nitric oxide in your body. It simply blocks the breakdown of what little nitric oxide you already have left, buying you a temporary window of relief. At first, that sounds helpful, but it is only masking the deeper issue. As the years pass and nitric oxide continues to drop, you are left with less and less to preserve. Think about that. If your body is only producing 40% of what it once did, all the medication is doing is stretching out that 40%. It is like trying to water a garden with a hose that is almost empty. The pressure is never really there. And then come the side effects. Headaches, flushing, and sudden drops in blood pressure are common, but many men also report more alarming problems: chest pain, dizziness, even disturbances in vision, where the world appears tinted blue. For some, prolonged erections lead to damage in the very tissue they are trying to protect. These are not just inconveniences, they are risks that can compromise your overall health and safety. This is why so many men feel trapped. On one hand, they want intimacy back in their lives. On the other, they are terrified that the pill they take might trigger a heart attack or leave them worse off than before. The stress of that choice alone can erode desire, creating a cycle of anxiety and disappointment. But here is the key point I want you to remember. The real enemy is not a lack of medication. It is the slow, steady decline of nitric oxide and the vascular health that supports it. If we want true freedom, not just a temporary performance boost, we have to stop patching the leak and start fixing the pipe itself. We must look beyond the quick fix and towards solutions that strengthen your blood vessels, restore circulation, and allow your body to function naturally again. And the exciting news is this: those solutions already exist. They are safe, they are natural, and they have been studied to work. In the next part, we will uncover what really drives this decline, and why so many seniors are caught in its grip without even realizing it. Because once you understand the root cause, the path to restoring your strength becomes clear. By now, you've probably realized that erectile dysfunction isn't just about aging or low testosterone. In fact, I've met many men in their 60s and 70s with completely normal testosterone levels, yet they still struggle. So what's going on? The answer lies in something your doctor might not have explained fully. Nitric oxide. This humble little gas is absolutely vital. It's what tells your blood vessels to relax, expand, and deliver rich oxygenated blood, especially to areas that depend on healthy circulation, like your heart, your brain, and yes, your penis. Here's the troubling part. As we age, nitric oxide doesn't just decline, it drops dramatically. By your 40 seconds, you're already down to about 70% of your youthful levels. By your 60 seconds, you may be functioning at only 40%. And by the time you hit your 70 seconds, just 25%. That's not a minor dip, that's a full-blown crash. But what's causing that decline to accelerate in some men more than others? The answer is a hidden metabolic issue called insulin resistance, and it's more common than you think. When you consume too many refined carbs and sugars over the years, white bread, pasta, cereals, sodas, your body pumps out insulin to manage the sugar spike. But eventually, your cells stop listening. They resist the signal, so your body produces even more insulin, and suddenly, the system is overloaded. Here's why that matters. Excess insulin inflames the inner lining of your blood vessels. It damages the endothelium, the very layer responsible for releasing nitric oxide. Over time, this leads to poor circulation, oxygen deprivation, and even scarring inside your arteries, including the ones that supply blood to your penis. The result? Blood doesn't flow the way it used to. Erections become weaker, less reliable. In some cases, they disappear altogether. Not because you're less of a man, but because your circulatory system is quietly being suffocated from the inside out. And it doesn't stop there. Insulin resistance is also linked to low energy, weight gain around the belly, brain fog, poor sleep, and yes, lower testosterone. It's the invisible chain pulling everything down, and most men don't even realize they're wearing it. But here's the empowering truth. Insulin resistance can be reversed. Nitric oxide can be rebuilt. And when you do both, the results can be life-changing. In just a moment, I'll show you how certain foods, simple, natural, delicious, can work with your body to restore nitric oxide and heal your blood vessels from within. And once you support that process, your strength, your confidence, and even your intimate connection can begin to return without medication, without fear. This is where the real healing begins. If you want to rebuild circulation and restore your vitality naturally, there's no better place to begin than with the food on your plate. In all my years as a physician, I've seen time and time again that the body responds best to what's real, what's natural, and what it recognizes as nourishment. Not synthetic pills, not lab-created formulas, but healing from the inside out. So let's talk about the unsung heroes of vascular health foods that aren't just good for you, but are scientifically proven to increase nitric oxide and support stronger, more consistent blood flow. The first one is beets. Not everyone's favorite vegetable, I know, but what they lack in popularity, they make up for in power. Beets are rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts directly into nitric oxide. Studies have shown that beet juice can increase nitric oxide levels by up to 200%. That's not a minor improvement, it's a biological shift. And the best part is, you don't need to eat plates of beets every day. A few slices in a salad, a small glass of beet juice, or even a scoop of concentrated beet powder can be enough to start making a difference. Even more potent than beets, though often overlooked, is arugula. This peppery green is one of the most nitrate-rich vegetables on the planet. In fact, it contains even more nitrates per gram than beets. The only reason I didn't mention it first is because most people don't eat large bowls of arugula daily. But if you enjoy salads, mix it in generously. Better yet, try making an arugula and beet salad a few times a week. Your blood vessels will thank you. Now, let's sweeten things up a bit with pomegranate. This fruit is a powerhouse for your heart and circulation. Not only does it improve nitric oxide production, but it also protects that nitric oxide from being broken down too quickly. Think of it as both the fuel and the shield. One study showed that regular pomegranate intake increased nitric oxide by about 30%, and more importantly, it improved the elasticity of blood vessels, making them more responsive, more flexible, and better able to support healthy erections. And if you're a fan of something rich and satisfying, I've got good news. Dark chocolate. Yes, chocolate can help too, but not just any kind. We're talking about chocolate with at least 85% cacao. The flavonoids in dark chocolate help stimulate nitric oxide and improve blood flow throughout the body. In fact, adding a spoonful of 100% cacao powder to your morning coffee or smoothie is one of my favorite tips for patients. It's simple, enjoyable, and it works. These aren't trendy superfoods or hard-to-find ingredients. They're everyday items you can pick up at your local market. No side effects, no scary labels, just nature doing what it does best, restoring balance and function at the cellular level. In the next part, we'll go even deeper. Because while food lays the foundation, there are natural herbs and supplements that act like reinforcements, gently nudging your body back into rhythm, helping you rebuild nitric oxide and vitality day by day. Many seniors overlook these tools. But once you know how they work, you'll see just how powerful they can be. Now that you know which foods naturally rebuild blood flow, let's go one step further into the world of herbs and supplements that have quietly been restoring male vitality for centuries. These aren't gimmicks or magic powders. Many of them are backed by real human studies, and when used wisely, they can support your nitric oxide levels, improve circulation, and even boost testosterone without the side effects of conventional medication. Let's start with a remarkable amino acid, L-citrulline. While you might have heard of L-arginine as a nitric oxide booster, it turns out that L-citrulline is actually far more effective. Why? Because it bypasses the digestive breakdown that weakens L-arginine and gets converted more efficiently by your kidneys into nitric oxide. In one study, men who took L-citrulline daily noticed significant improvements in both erection hardness and frequency. The effects aren't instant like Viagra, but they're sustainable. The key is consistency. Take it once in the morning and again in the evening, and let it build in your system over time. Another traditional remedy with modern scientific backing is horny goat weed, known scientifically as epimedium. It contains a compound called icariin, which acts as a natural PDE5 inhibitor, the same mechanism that Viagra uses. But unlike the pill, this herb also gently increases nitric oxide production. The challenge with horny goat weed is bioavailability. Your body doesn't absorb it well on its own. That's why I recommend taking it with healthy fats, like avocado or olive oil, and even pairing it with a pinch of black pepper to enhance absorption. Then there's Panax ginseng, sometimes called the manroot, for good reason. It has been used for centuries in Eastern medicine to support energy, sexual health, and overall vitality. Clinical studies show that it not only improves nitric oxide levels, but also protects the blood vessels from oxidative damage. Think of it as a double agent, stimulating circulation, while also guarding the vessel walls that allow that blood to flow freely. For those whose erectile issues are tied to anxiety or emotional stress, saffron can offer subtle but powerful support. This golden spice not only triggers a modest rise in nitric oxide, but also calms the nervous system and lifts mood. It can be especially helpful for men who feel mentally shut down or disconnected from desire, not because of physical damage, but because their stress levels are keeping them in a constant state of tension. And of course, I can't forget ashwagandha, an adaptogen I recommend often for men over 60. When your stress hormones like cortisol are elevated, they wreak havoc on testosterone and circulation. Ashwagandha helps to reset that balance, improving testosterone while gently boosting nitric oxide. It's particularly helpful if you're dealing with chronic fatigue, poor sleep, or a short temper, all signs that your adrenals are overworked. These natural remedies aren't miracle cures on their own, but combined with a nourishing diet and the right lifestyle habits, they act like fuel for your comeback. They help restore what time and stress have taken away, without overloading your system or putting your heart at risk. Next, we'll look at how daily routines, exercise, sleep, breathing, even temperature can dramatically affect blood flow and performance. And I'll show you how to turn simple changes into lasting transformation. Because sometimes it's not about doing more, but doing the right things, with purpose. You've learned what to eat, you've discovered powerful herbs and nutrients, but here's something most men overlook: how you live each day either builds your vitality or slowly drains it away. Let's begin with the most important and the most misunderstood tool: exercise. Not just any exercise. I'm talking about short, intense movement that mimics how our bodies were designed to work. High-intensity interval training, or HIIT, and resistance training have been shown to rapidly increase nitric oxide and even improve insulin sensitivity. That's a 2-for-1 benefit. You don't need to lift heavy weights or run marathons. Just a few sets of squats, push-ups, or short bursts of movement can light a fire under your circulation. Even a brisk walk after dinner can do wonders. Now, let's add something few people talk about: Kegel exercises for men. That's right. These simple pelvic floor movements improve blood flow to the lower body, strengthen the muscles that control erections, and even reduce urinary leakage. In one study, over 40% of men regained full erectile function by practicing Kegels consistently. No medication, no side effects, just consistency. Here's another powerful habit: sleep. It sounds simple, but poor sleep destroys nitric oxide levels and raises stress hormones. Your body does most of its healing and testosterone production while you sleep. If you're getting less than 7 hours, your body is running on fumes. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. Keep your room cool, and try a white or pink noise machine if you struggle to fall asleep. Deep, restorative sleep is one of the fastest ways to reset your vascular health. Next up, stress. When your body is in fight or flight mode, blood flow is diverted away from your reproductive system. That's biology. Stress kills desire, mood, and physical function. But here's something simple you can do right now. Breathe slowly through your nose. Nasal breathing increases nitric oxide and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for arousal and relaxation. Take a few minutes each day to simply sit, breathe deeply, and let your body come down from its state of alert. Now, we can't ignore what's harming you, even quietly. If you're drinking alcohol regularly, it may be interfering with testosterone production and impairing circulation. Seed oils from processed foods and fried snacks get embedded in your cells and inflame your blood vessels. Smoking, of course, is a direct assault on nitric oxide. Replace these with omega-3 seconds from fatty fish or cod liver oil. These support hormone balance, fight inflammation, and protect your vascular system. And finally, consider something called cold therapy. A short cold shower or cold plunge might seem uncomfortable, but the science is clear. Cold exposure constricts blood vessels briefly, then triggers a powerful rebound of circulation as your body warms back up. Over time, this enhances vascular tone and nitric oxide production. You don't need to change everything overnight, but start somewhere today. A short walk, a better night's sleep, a salad with beets and arugula. These small steps build momentum. And that momentum rebuilds your strength, not just physically, but emotionally. In the final part, I'll give you a simple, doable plan to tie all of this together and remind you why it's never too late to feel strong, intimate, and alive again. By now, you understand something that most men never hear. Not from their doctor, not from the commercials, and certainly not from a little pill. Erectile dysfunction isn't a curse of age. It's a signal. A quiet cry from your body that something deeper needs attention. And the good news is, you've already taken the first step, awareness. So let's bring it all together. Your path forward doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't need to chase the latest miracle cure or live in fear of side effects. What you need is a simple, consistent plan, rooted in nourishment, movement, rest, and support. Start with your meals. Build your plate around foods that restore nitric oxide beets, arugula, pomegranate, dark chocolate. Add healthy fats like olive oil and avocados to help your body absorb those critical plant compounds and herbs. Swap sugary snacks and breads for whole foods that support insulin sensitivity. Pair that with movement short but meaningful. A 10-minute walk after dinner, gentle resistance training in your living room, a few Kegel exercises while brushing your teeth. Not heroic effort, just quiet consistency. Support your recovery with what nature provides. L-citrulline in the morning and evening, ashwagandha or ginseng depending on your stress and energy levels. Maybe a little saffron in your tea. If your heart feels heavy, these aren't crutches, they're bridges, helping your body do what it was always meant to do. And above all else, protect your sleep. Turn off the noise. Keep the room cool. Breathe deeply through your nose. Give your body the time it needs to rebuild, because that's when healing happens. You are not broken. You are not finished. You are not alone. I've spoken to men who thought they'd never feel that spark again, only to rediscover it through small natural changes. Not overnight, not by force, but through honoring what their body was trying to say all along. And now it's your turn. If this message speaks to you, if it stirs something inside that says, maybe this isn't the end, then I encourage you to begin. Start with one habit, one new food, one good night's sleep. You'll be amazed at how quickly the body responds when you treat it with care and consistency. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like it, share it with someone you trust, or leave a comment below. You never know who else is searching quietly for the same answers you've just found. You still have so much life to live, and love to give. Let's get you back to it.